EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator said right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. On 2nd down, here's Brady. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Brady now on 1st down. And that'll be incomplete. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And they'll run it here. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. Time to roll through the starters now defensively for Miami. They enter this one number 13, Charles, in the NFL in stopping the run.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you'd say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. Able to find Shaheen, the tight end. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive. And they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them. And now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, it's the 2nd time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
20, like 20.
Brady to throw on second down. And he's got it. They give him 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch like that close to the end zone. I should have scored.
Yeah, there's always a regret when you're that close to the goal line. But let's go back to what you talked about before. Getting his feet down. Would you say dotting the I? I can cross the T as well. That was excellent footwork to get in bounds and make a great catch.
Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. Brady now to throw. And, it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know. We know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, and the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate Dalvin alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Fielded just inside the 20. 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a 1st down. A starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the 1st down. Drive 1 is that had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out of it.
But warm-up QB2, let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them downfield and you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game. But they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
Shaheen, the tight end, on the right side. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. first and 10. Here's Brady. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Brady to throw on 3rd and 1. And he will find his man on the outside. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
20.
Now Brady throwing on second down. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Adam Shaheen, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bears have taken the early lead. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have, and you absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
Gano the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage. It's a gain of 7, and that'll make it second down. They run a draw here on second down. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They go play action here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
First down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. First and 10.
Hurry up, here we go.
And they'll go on the ground. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now let's go. Blue landing.
Now they try the right side here. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Set. Green 39.
Operating from the gun. Brewer. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. So a big 3rd down hookup here will take us to the break. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies. Back
now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. And they've got it here with a 1st down.
Now let's go.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Brewer. And this is going to be intercepted. Snags it for the pick.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well.
White 20. Green 80.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Bears will extend their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Extra point try good by Gano. And it's now 14-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Oh, the Bears break through and they block it.
The beauty of being able to play his own defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion. Kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And here comes a big tight end as he gets set for this next drive. And we peek at some of his work from this game where he's nearing 100 yards.
And haven't we gotten pretty close in this game nowadays in the NFL to almost taking labels off of the tight end position? These guys now can be the #1 option in an offense, and that never used to be the case. So now how do you even match up with them? Cornerback, safety, linebacker, all 3 will have to fit.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So retract the yardage and retract the touchdown.
And retract the chunk play. Big strike there to get the touchdown. Now they've got to take it back and see if they've got another one still in their arsenal.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Bears on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4. Working from the gun, it's Brady. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
They'll try to field goal now with Graham Gano. And Gano's kick is right through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
From the gun, Brewer. And incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
Off play action. Brewer. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or 2 short, and it's 4th down. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love. Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaking up on the play. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Green, 39. Green, 39.
Off the play fake. Brewer. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9.
Set. 3-19.
Operating from the gun. Brewer. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 29, the 40, 20, 10, and they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Gano for the extra point. Gano the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. He's going to float this one deep right side. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick six on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. And, Charles, this infraction is going to be against the offense. False start.
Sometimes you have to get up to the line of scrimmage, make sure your team is set before you begin your cadence.
So from 2nd and 10, it'll now go to 2nd and 15. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15.
All right, here we go. Blue, line it.
Now they'll run on the draw. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Call it 7 yards on the carry, so a pretty good game, but still left with a tough 3rd and 8.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
That'll make it 1st and 15. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
All right, here we go. Blue,
back to throw. Brewer. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
So that'll bump it back to a 1st and 15. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Now let's go.
Looking to throw. Brewer. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Let's go. Blue line it.
To throw on 2nd down, Brewer. He hits McCluster, complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Green 39.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false start. 3rd and 10.
Blue line it. Blue line it.
From the gun, Brewer. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Glover. And he's going to get this inside the 30. This quarterback now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
And that'll set him back 5. A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Brewer. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Throwing on 3rd and long. Brewer. That escapes the sack. This is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Set. 3-19.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. They were looking good on second down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. From the gun, Brewer. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well. I
love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. They showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Carlson able to put this one through. And the Dolphins are going to be forced to settle for 3. Well, that will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator. What did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick. But that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And this one will be brought back to the 22. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. And this is caught at the 8. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Here we go. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Brewer to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd gone to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
3-19. 3-19.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. From the gun on third down. Brewer toward the pylon, caught. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Dolphins are able to draw a bit closer.
Terrific. Touchdown. I know we've got a game now.
Yeah, I think anytime you go to the second half down just 1 or 2 scores, you feel not where you want to be, but in a pretty good spot.
And I think for most teams, when they go into the half in this situation, it's not a lot of adjusting going on. It's much more, all right, guys, let's just play a little bit better than we did in the first half.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will get him 1 closer. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we come upon halftime here at Soldier Field with the Bears out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. Let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. And in the second quarter, it's the Vikings who are out on top. The Vikings trying to get back to 500. They'd move to 5-5 with a victory.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line. So
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Now let's go. 3-19.
From the gun, Brewer. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Throwing on third and long. Brewer fighting through pressure. But now he's swallowed up and taken down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Here's Matt Hawk now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Yeah, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
And they'll run it here. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The Bears on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Brady. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs. They covered well. Allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Matt Bosher now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. Able to fight through 1 tackle. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. And out come the Dolphins now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he spins past him and into space. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins able to get this back within a touchdown.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will shave one more off this lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Flush to his right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Like 20.
Looking to throw on second down. Brady. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Like 20.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Like 20.
To throw on third down. Brady finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
This quarterback now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on first down.
Like 20.
Throwing on first down is Brady. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Like 20.
Brady again here on 2nd and 10. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
20!
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And now a fumble. Brady loses the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Matt Bosher now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So now here come the Dolphins. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
On 1st down, Brewer. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Porter. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11.
Here we go. Green, 39.
And they'll go on the ground. And, a little spin cycle. Room to run now. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 8 yards on the ground there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 2.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
Well, you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field, and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Not what you wanted there, 3rd and 2.
And this is something you've worked on in practice from the time you were in training camp, yet you still create your own mistakes.
On 3rd down, Brewer. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On 1st down, Brady. And he whips that one incomplete there.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Chicago. And taken right at the 35. So a change of possession here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. Now the Dolphins getting set to go here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now Adam Gase has put a pair of fingers up in the air. His offense is going to go for 2.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
Operating from the gun. Brewer. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. And in the third quarter here, they were trying to push that to a 3-point game, but instead it'll stay at 1.
And I'm a big proponent of not chasing points or going for 2 too early. But in this case, I understand why. You know, if you kick an extra point, you're just up 2, right? So a field goal still puts the other team ahead. So you go for 2 here and protect the field goal lead. They didn't get it done, though.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, so he's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? Rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing them all sorts of trouble.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Let's
Ball
go.
up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Wait, 20.
Brady now on 1st down. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. From the gun, it's Brady. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Bears on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is third down and 12.
Hey, 20! Like 20!
From the gun, Brady. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Here's Matt Bosher now. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. This is taken at about the 14. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
Off play action. Brewer. And that is incomplete.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback, you got to make that throw, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be complete.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big 30-yard play on 3rd. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Off the play fake. Brewer. Throw left side complete. It's Porter. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. And a nice gain at 21 yards. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Off play action. Brewer. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Set. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down to the 36. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
All right, here we go. 3.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Brewer. Over the middle, complete. That's Porter. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. He hit his first, this one from 38. The kick by Carlson is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
He's got it at the 15. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Bears have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. Extra point try good by Gano. And that gives him a 3-point lead. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants a drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Yeah, they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
On 1st and 10, Brewer. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Back to throw. Brewer. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Off the play fake. Brewer. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one goes for 24 yards. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 11 more on that one, and another first down. It's been all passing all the time on this drive. 5 for 5, and now first and goal.
Feels like a case of until they stop us, we might as well keep running the offense that we like to run. Don't change up and do something different just because you think you need to. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on first and goal.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Now let's go.
They run a draw here on second down. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. It's a solid pickup, 8 yards, but work still to do now on third and goal. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
Looking to throw. Brewer. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. In for the score. And the Dolphins have taken the lead here in the fourth.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead. And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the numbers show the improvement, and this is kind of what we thought we would expect to see from him. I know we overanalyze these things sometimes, but what switch? What's flipped that switch? Sometimes I think when you're as great as he is, you just kind of roll out each game and expect good things to happen. And that's not always the case. Those guys on the other side of the ball, they're in the NFL too for a reason. So maybe at halftime he gets a chance to regroup, kind of get it back together, get a little extra resolve, and now he's putting it into practice.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10.
Like 20. Like 20.
Looking back to the air on second down. It's Brady. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Give him 9 yards on the second down screen play. For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides.
Tight end right. Like 20. Like 20. Go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
Throwing on first down. Brady over the middle. The tight end Shaheen with it. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On play action, it's Brady. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. They'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A really nice gain of 25 yards. He'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bears have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Gano the extra point. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all. Now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
The face mask moves them all the way out past the 40 now for first down.
All right, here we go. Blue, line it.
He's back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. There he goes inside the 30. And he'll be taken down at the 26. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. On first down, Brewer. Flushed out right. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Now they try the right side here. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end, going to overtime, because neither one got an advantage today.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. They run a draw here on 2nd down. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Brewer. Wide open receiver complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. And 21 yards there as they convert on third. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in. And they'll run it here. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
All right, here we go.
To throw on second down. Brewer throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 43.
Let's go.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Looking to throw on second down. Brewer. Shedding through the defense. Sheds another. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Porter. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And now he's closing in on 450 yards passing.
That's an incredible number. I mean, you're talking about the best defenders in the world that you're trying to throw the ball against, and you're creating that type of a number. Fantastic job, fantastic performance, and he's going to have to ice up his arm afterwards, too.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. And I know you with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field.
False start, offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
They run a draw here on second down. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
To throw. Brewer. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Set. 3-19.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
So that one will be accepted. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal.
3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 11, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
The ball placed just outside of the end zone as they come up again on another 3rd and goal.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Carlson able to put this one through. Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance that field goes from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So for Miami, they move back over 500 now at 6-5. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Mile High to take on the Broncos. Meanwhile, for the Bears, it's starting to look like it won't be their year as they drop to 5-6. And they'll have a quick turnaround as they're back in action Thursday at noon Eastern for the traditional Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.